god. I love to like stick my little hands in the squares on my coffee table. And I stuck my hand through one and it like completely went into a spider web. Like I put my hand into a spider web like I was putting on a glove. And
that ain't it.
I feel like I need to dip my hand in some bleach.
All right, Beach, you ready?
I'm ready, BB.
Okay, here we go. Podcast F1. F1. Ready? You missed the whole thing, Riley. Come on.
I totally did it.
You totally didn't. You just went it.
Like this.
You
like
just
that.
X.
They're touching.
They're not touching.
I totally did. We're out here doing this. Who's doing the intro?
I don't know. I'll do it. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm really rolling some high key Julian energy at the moment.
I think that's all we need for a successful podcast.
All right, here we go. If for some reason you're not Riley and I from the future, welcome. This podcast, this one right here, it's not for you. This is a place where Riley and I like record the most ridiculous thoughts that we have so that later in life we can look back and laugh. If what makes us laugh makes you laugh too, you are welcome to hang out while we discuss that one time we went on a goat walk. But if not, it's not for you. See you later or never. Either's fine.
Either one.
Either's fine. You're gonna leave. There's a cat sniffing a blanket. My peripheral vision, it's like very riveting. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I don't know where my animals are. I think they're upstairs somewhere. Who's to say?
Earlier today, we didn't know where Ollie Bear was while we were doing some real important work at Not For You Incorporated. So that's our dining room table. It's where, we sit and eat food. Also where we, our kind of thing. So it was just like really quiet and really suspicious for like a long time. And then we realized that he was in my bedroom eating my plant.
Very nice.
Demon cat.
Was it at least a safe plant for cats? Or was it like
hex to the no? He's gonna puke later, we think.
Oh no. We couldn't find Shui either this morning. And I was like, that's nice. She's the one dog that we need to keep an eye on. She was locked in a bathroom.
Oh, well.
I don't know how she got in there, but she's fine.
Okay. If you want to know the story of the time Sam and I adopted a cat, you can, she's going to put it somewhere.
It's on the internet. When I was
to go watch it on YouTube. She feels lazy.
When I was booping around on Instagram today and went onto our YouTube page to look at something, I got distracted and watched a whole bunch of our videos. So I know the cat one's on there. That's why it took me so long to get back to you about the Instagram, because I got distracted and started watching all our videos.
So we also watched our videos this morning. If you're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel. It's also called Not For You, because again, Not For You is where we record us doing silly things in life, and so that we can watch them back later and laugh. And Sam and I this morning were watching a bunch of our videos while we were doing some very important work at Not For You Incorporated. And Rye also was not doing important work at Not For You Incorporated this morning and watched all our videos instead.
Yeah. I was supposed to be doing something and it was in my brain, but then I was like, I want to watch all these. And so I watched them all. And then I was like, what was I supposed to do again? And then I did this.
Yo,
I literally got back to you with the thing that you wanted me to get back to you with. But
I really big brained on our Google Shared Drive this morning. We're going to have a fun meeting later.
Yeah, I started looking at it this afternoon. Well, like right before we started, while Sam was getting like the setup. I was like, wow, you guys really cranked out a bunch of stuff.
Not For You Incorporated is only open Saturday mornings, and we get a lot of work done. I have to be bribed with chai, but we get a lot of work done.
Well, I've never had chai, but anyone could bribe me with tea and I would be on board. So
we're big tea people.
We are. I almost brought down a mug, and then I remembered that I had this.
And I actually think you should have put that in a mug because that's our whole thing. It would
fit. It's so big.
You got to drink in shifts, dude.
True. I just sit here, you pour into the mug.
It's the whole
Hold on, I need a refill. Takes mug, takes Duncan.
We'll get you Sam's Stream teacups so you have to refill it like 50 times.
I got a whole box full of teacups in my like storage unit. I could go get one of my fancy like China teacups and just fill up different ones.
I think you should have like
a different teacup.
I think you should have like a flight of like how many teacups does Riley go through in one podcast?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. That might happen.
I mean, we'd have to stop every time you like switch teacups and describe it because listen, let's be honest, future me is only going to listen to this on Apple Podcasts. Like I'm not going to watch the YouTube video. And we're just going to get a lot of ridiculous Callie Riley descriptions of like, this one's got some blue doodly doos and some gold flus. And it makes a really pretty pattern of,
Exactly. Some of them are a set because they all were like belonged to like a China tea set from many generations of my family ago, but some of them are like random ones that my great grandma collected, and then some are from Goodwill. Who's to say which are which? The sets we are pretty sure are like our families, but
yeah, I was about to say
the random ones, some of them are like part of our families and some of them are Goodwill. So yeah. I'm totally doing that sometime though. I haven't used them.
I think that would just be like a fun thing.
And I need an excuse to use them because they're mine. So
exactly. Yeah, you can't just have China that you don't use.
There's a gold thing on me.
All right, we're here today to talk about goats.
Yeah. We started off real strong talking about animals. Started talking about tea. You get an idea of what we're all about.
Listen,
we can talk about some more animals.
We know that the only person listening to this is me and you and Sam in the future, and we all know we're chaotic. So here's the thing. Riley and I have these like very special sacred events called Callie Riley Days. And we had one recently that was a bit unique.
It's very different than what we usually do.
Yeah, I mean, we went outside during this one. That was a big step for us.
Yeah.
We went outside and we didn't go to a TJ Maxx. Huge step for us.
Yeah, we did go to a Barnes and Noble, but
don't spoil it. There's no spoilers.
I'm sorry. Spoiler alert, we went to a Barnes and Noble.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that was later in the day. We did something much more important before that encompassed the majority of our day.
It was most of our okay, listen. I work with kiddos and I love them so much. And one of my kiddos walks into like my class. I'm like in the middle of teaching and this kid shows up at my door and like knocks on my classroom door and it's like, Miss Owens, I really need to give you something. And I'm like, I'm teaching right now. You should just be like, what are you doing? And so they like hand me this envelope and then leave. And later I realized that what they've gifted me is something called a goat trek. Having no idea what.
When you told the story, they gave it to you and then you said they ran away.
Oh, there was some swiftness on that exit. Yeah. I think I probably scared them a little bit with the whole like, don't you dare interrupt my classroom.
They needed to give you a gift immediately.
I have to leave.
It was a very important gift. But continue.
So like later after all the kids are gone, I open it and I'm gifted with a goat trekking experience. And I could have read the description on the piece of paper. I could have followed the directions. But here's what I did. I saw that there was a time and a date and realized that this is when I needed to be somewhere. It wasn't. I could have signed up for a different one. I just didn't read the instructions. So the time and the date was falling on our Callie Riley Day for December. And I was like, Riley, how do you feel about doing a thing called a goat trek?
I'm like, all right. That sounds like fun. Walking, goats. I'm on board. I'm on board for both things.
So I was home for the holidays. Riley lives closer to like where I grew up than she does to where I live now. And we needed to be at goat trekking at like
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Yeah, that was the time. It's 10. So I had to leave my mom's house at 6:00 to pick Riley up by like 7:30 so that we could get on the road and drive literally 2.5 hours to go goat trekking. Like, I got up at 5:30, like cranky as can be, packed up my car because I wasn't going back to my mom's house. Like, the plan was leave my mom's house, go to Riley's, go home to where I live now the next day. I just want to note that the goat trekking place is literally 30 minutes away from where I live now. Like, I literally drove pretty much to my home and then back to where Riley lives. It was crazy.
Yes.
So I get in the car to no one's surprise at 6:30, right? Like, I did not leave at the time at which I intended to leave. And I'm not a morning person. I'm very slow in the mornings. And I like drive the hour to Riley's house. And Riley and I don't greet each other like normal people. I'm going to let you describe how I said hello to you at 7:30 in the morning.
I don't remember. I was like trying to get the Duncan situated.
I believe that I very gently knocked on the door of your house out of fear of waking up your beloved parents.
Who weren't even home, by the way. Did I even tell you that?
You didn't tell me that until after
that's
I did
right.
this.
Yeah, so my parents were out of town and they were 10 minutes from where we were driving to. And I just forgot to tell Callie that half my family wasn't going to be home. Anyway,
I walk in the door and Riley's there and I just look at her and I go,
that's right, you did do that.
Like, I could have said hi.
Hug, which was really nice.
I love how you were so excited about that hug because I regularly don't hug you.
And I very much respect that.
I know.
But I always find it sweet when I do get one. Yes, you did like come right up to me and go right in my pache.
So then we like took my stuff out of my car because it didn't seem reasonable to drive around with like my laptop or my Switch in like 10-degree weather. Yeah. We shoved donuts into our faces and then we hit the road.
Yeah. And we listened to Encanto like pretty much the entire way there.
Oh man, I cried. Yeah.
Yeah. You cried in the car on the way to the goats?
No, I didn't do that.
When did you cry in the car on the way to the goats?
Listen.
Which song?
There's only one song that's not true. That's a blatant lie. Okay, listen. So I cried on Waiting for a Miracle.
Yes, as you should.
And then I cried like a little bit. There was like a tear and some like, you know what I mean? Yeah. There was one of those when we get to the part of Isabella's song where she's like, and change minds. And this is the moment that I realized that Mirabel says, "You've changed mine." And like for a little bit, I didn't like realize exactly what was going on in that moment. I just thought she was repeating her older sister. But then like I realized that this is like a tender moment of the movie where she sees her sister in a new way and is forever changed by better knowing her. And like, that is just so beautiful to me. And I cried. And then I cried again.
I don't be ashamed of it. I've seen that movie twice now and I'm practicing self-restraint because if I allowed myself, I'd watch that movie every single day. I love that movie a lot. I'm like an unhealthy amount. But like both times I got misty the first time I watched it, and then the second time I watched it, I full cried multiple times, and I've cried multiple times since just listening to the song. So
then I cried at the last moment of the last song where Abuela goes, abre los ojos, like open your eyes, like see what we see. And then the chorus comes in and it's we see how bright you burn and we see how brave you are, and she's like having this moment that she was always so important to her family, and I'm just in the car ready to goat track, just tears silently streaming down my face like a psychopath.
That
and you didn't notice
of that movie is one of my favorite parts. I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of the movie. Honestly, we could do a whole podcast episode on Encanto. I could talk about that movie and like pick it apart for a full hour plus.
Yes. Add it to the spreadsheet.
I'll be doing that later.
Yeah, during our corporate meeting.
During our corporate meeting later, we will, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Encanto at some point. Again. But yeah, we listened to it the entire way there to Goats. We listened to that soundtrack twice, once with words and then once just the instrumentals, which I really appreciate how they did that.
Yeah. I love that Disney's been doing that more on their newer films where they give you the full instrumental score, because I don't feel like they did that for the films when we were growing up.
Right.
Like they do now. And I, as an old person, listen to instrumental music while I'm like studying or preparing to teach or reading or lifing at all. So I just like having those like beautiful moments burned into my brain from Encanto.
Absolutely. So
anyway, so we're driving to the Goats.
We get to
having some.
Wait,
well, we're having some great chats. What chats did we have on the drive? What did we talk about on the way there? I don't remember, if I'm being honest.
I don't either.
I was too busy trying not to immediately burst into tears constantly because we were listening to Encanto.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Apparently, the first way there was a wash because there was a lot of tears.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Disney a lot. We talked about literally exactly what we just talked about.
Oh yeah.
In regards to Encanto, because I had never seen it at that point, and you were telling me about the movie and the music in the movie, and then we talked about language. We talked about how like each of us know 2 languages. We both speak.
I don't listen. Okay, like I speak
at some
Spanish
level.
A little bit.
At some level, we both know Spanish. Like I can read it very fluently if you ask me to speak it or like interpret, translate someone else speaking it. It's not gonna happen. Like I'm not great at that. But like you give me an article or a book in Spanish and I can read that to you in English. And then you are way better at speaking it than I am.
I have a really intelligent conversation with a 3rd grader in Spanish.
I couldn't do that.
The 3rd grade fluency of Spanish. Yeah, and we were talking about like because of what I study, can read like some Latin, and I studied in Italy for a little while, and so like a skill that I really used in Italy was the Spanish language because they both are derived from Latin, and some things are really similar, some things not at all similar, and that was embarrassing for me. Yeah, but some things are pretty similar, so that was really helpful. I forgot that was on the way there.
Yeah, we talked about like how it would be awesome to learn another language.
Yeah, or perfect the one I currently have now.
Or like, yeah, brush up on that. I really should. Like, I have a Quizlet of like hundreds of Spanish words that like conjugating came easy to me because I took English at the same time that I was taking Spanish. And so I was getting 2 grammar like collectively because I had like block scheduling. I had like 3 hours of like grammar a day.
Yeah.
For a long time. And so like I don't know, even though Spanish and English grammar is very different in a lot of ways, like having 2 sets of grammar lessons for 2 separate languages helped the other one click. Conjugating comes like pretty easy to me. It's just the vocabulary that I have trouble with at times. But Yeah,
that makes
brushing
sense.
up on the languages we already know is definitely a topic of conversation that we wish we could do that.
So we arrive at goat trekking.
Yes.
And I drive a beautiful 2010 Hyundai Elantra. Let me tell you about sweet, beautiful Helen. She's not made for the snow. So we have to like park at the bottom of like a pretty big bluff and then walk to the top of it to get to goat trekking.
Yeah, if you've never been to like Western Illinois, it is all hills. That's it. You're either like going up a hill or you're going down a hill, and there is no in between at all.
We're firmly in the center of the driftless region now. So like it's all hills, and they ain't no joke. Like they're steep. And it's icy.
Yeah, because it snowed like 2 days before, and then I got really cold for one day.
Do you want to talk about your trek up the hill, Riley? Like I think we need to talk about this.
I feel like we could. So Callie is like ready to go, starts trekking up the hill, no problem. And me and hills don't mix very well. I'm like,
don't mix very well.
I'm like scooching my feet up the hill because I'm like afraid of slipping, because like I took one step up the hill and I almost fell over. So I was like, I think this is a great start. Kelly's, hyping me up. Just walk on the gravel, walk in the snow, don't walk directly on the ice. And I'm like, I'm trying.
She was not trying.
On top of that, no, I wasn't doing a great job. On top of that, I was wheezy, to be generous about it. And cold and exercise and wheeze they're not friends. So we're walking up the hill. It's like a pretty big hill and it's like pretty steep. And I'm like huffing my way up and like have to stop and take breaks. It's just like marching up the hill. She's ready to go. Just like stop it. We're like literally at one point we were like 30 feet apart from each other. At some point you were just like, oh, keep going. And I was like on board with it. I didn't want to hold her up. So like she can go. She'll hold up.
Well, and we were like also a little bit late for the goats. And
so we get up there. Callie gets to the top of the hill and like stands and waits for me to finish my scooch. And we get to the top of the hill. The like start of the goat walk is right around like a corner. So there's like the top of the hill meets at like a little freeway intersection. And then there's like a little pen where the goats are. And that's where all the people are meeting. And so we get to the top and they're like, okay, let's go. And they start walking like as we get there. And all the goats are already out. So we were like just in time. If we had gotten there 5 minutes later, we would have missed the start of the walk. They were starting on time. They were not waiting for anybody. But to be fair, I don't think they knew we were coming.
No, they didn't. So like we arrive at this like beautiful, picturesque, like frost covered area of land. These people own the land and it's beautiful and well maintained, and like the snow is resting on the trees in that like kind of perfect way that you see in Hallmark movies. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like booking it up this hill. It's slippery. I'm in my hiking boots, so like I get a little bit of an edge there, but there's also like not a lot of traction.
No, and on top of that, so Callie was smart and she brought her hiking boots and she brought like snow gear. I brought like one coat that I've had since I was in 7th grade, and I wore gym shoes, like tennis shoes that have absolutely no traction. So that 2 points against me. Anyway, continue.
Girl. And like we were supposed to be there at 10. We pull into the parking lot at like 9:55. And then we have, I mean, like it wasn't a short walk up to where we needed to be. And it the other people who came had cars with 4-wheel drive and could like just drive right up there. So it wasn't a problem for them. But like I have a tiny bean car that barely survives like the regular weather, let alone snow and ice. So I'm like trying to get up to the hill so that they know we're here, we're coming. And because I didn't read any of the directions, thought that like we had to come at this time, and that like the kid that gave it to me was going to be our goat trek tour guide, and like that they were really counting on me to be there. And so I was like really anxious that we weren't there, and that like she was gonna think that I didn't like her gift, and that I didn't care about her. And I was like really nervous. So I was kind of like booking it up the bluff.
I tried my best.
Riley did try her best.
I started off like ready to go, and then I slipped on the ice after like 2 steps and was like, we're never gonna make it at this point. That's right.
Never gonna make it.
Never gonna make it if I don't slow down. So we did make it though. We made it like right as they were starting. There were a lot more people there that, like Callie said, you know, we thought maybe it would just be this student that gave her the gift and then us, and there were like a couple families there.
Oh my gosh, I think there were honestly like 15 other people there.
Mm-hmm.
And we walk up and they're like, oh, what's the name on your reservation? And I tell them my name and the name of the student, and they just kind of look at me funny, and they're like, well, that student's my daughter. And I pull out of my pocket, I was like, I was given this, and it says this date and this time, and I just thought that like this is what I needed to do. And the mom was so sweet. She's like, oh my gosh, of course, you come on in, you join us, it's all good. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And she calls the student's name. She's like, your friend's here. And this student like looks out from behind the goat pen and goes, oh, Callie! Like she was so excited we were there. It was so cute. It was so sweet. I was so happy. And then she asks me, she's like, you didn't have to come today, right? And I was like, no, I didn't read the directions. I saw a date and time and I showed up. And she goes, well, did you register? I was like, no, I just showed up.
No.
She's like, well, did you
showed up?
did you like pay? And I was like, no, I need to do that. And she was like, no, you don't. It's a gift. And I was like, I just showed up. Like, it was so embarrassing.
How cool was it though? It wasn't like
yeah.
She was so great. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mom goes, so we're literally gonna just hike in a herd of goats. That's what you're doing today. And I was like, yes, this is what I signed up for.
On board.
If I signed up for, I mean, didn't, because I didn't read any of the directions.
We showed up for this.
We showed up.
This is what we're here for. And walk with goats, we did.
Oh man. I was gifted a goat on a leash right at the beginning because it wasn't super good at following other goats at the beginning.
You basically got me as a goat.
Yeah, the goat I was handed
was Riley as a goat.
It had the same coloring too, actually, like a soft light brown, some white patches. Really feels like that goat might have been you.
I overheard someone say once she notices the rest of the goats have started walking, she'll like go catch up with them. And I was like, yeah, it sounds like me. Once I notice everyone else is gone, I'm like, oh, maybe I should figure out where I'm supposed to go.
So we've got like 15, 20 people. We've got like 10 goats. And we're just going.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the goats, they were also going.
They go.
Yeah. They're like soft and floofy because it's winter and they need to be extra warm. And they're just cute as a button, but sometimes they have a score to settle. And they gonna sell it with headbuds.
There were like, but it's so funny because it's not like random goats headbutting each other.
No.
Like it was actual pairs of goats who headbutted the same goat the entire time. It was like 2 friends that were like, we gotta sell this right now the entire walk. And they would like walk next to each other the entire time. And then every once in a while, like headbutt right in front of you or headbutt right into you. And like, it was the same groups of goats headbutting the same group of goats the entire time or walking with the same group of goats the entire time. It was really like really funny to watch that they like stick with the same. And there were a couple times where they'd get separated from each other and you could tell that like one of the goats was looking for the partner and then they'd like they don't care that you're walking with them. That was another thing I learned on this experience is the goats don't care that there are 1, other ghosts around, and 2, people around. They will get to where they need to go if it means knocking over everything in their path. So they you got to really watch where you're going on this. It's not it was a very relaxing, fun stroll.
Yes. Yeah.
But you got to be aware. Otherwise, you're going to get a goat stomp on you.
Well, they also just randomly stop, like full stop for no reason.
Oh, yeah. I made it a point to make sure that I was not walking directly behind a goat at any time. And that I was only walking next to them because it only took once for a goat to stop right in front of me and me almost to completely face planted in the snow for me to be like, okay, we can't be doing this.
We can't.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt and leggings and gym shoes. I am not equipped to fall in the snow today.
I just can't be falling every which way.
Can't be falling.
No.
I also thought it was cute that some of the goats were family members. They were the children of other goats, and those goats would stick together too. Mm-hmm. Little families would stick together, and I thought that was really sweet. We did see a couple of the family members fighting though. One of the sons was headbutting the mom a lot. I was like, can you don't talk to your mom that way.
You respect your mother.
You respect your mom, okay?
But the goat that we the goat that we had on the leash at the beginning, Riley is a goat, was waiting behind for its mom. It wanted to walk next to its mom. And that's why it was being so slow. And its mom was also being really slow. And so it was waiting for her, which was really sweet.
Yeah. They were very the goats were so mindful of what they were doing.
Yes.
And that was cool to watch. It was so cute.
They were mindful of what they were doing until they weren't. They were so cute.
I can't get over it. I want to go walk with them again. I want to go walk with them in the summertime.
Yeah. When there's babies.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the only thing I'm a little nervous about for the summertime is I think I would still have to wear my boots because the goats go potty
the entire time.
And they don't care where your footsums may or may not be. They're just
don't stop to go.
No.
They just do what they got to do right while they're walking.
Well, and if they see another goat go potty, they think, oh, that's a good idea. And then they go potty again. And it's just I don't think that's a Choco venture.
No. The guide even said, because someone commented about it halfway through the walk when we were stopped. So the goats like pine needles. So we stopped to let the goats eat from a pine tree for a little bit. And then the person who was guiding us on our walk and who owns the goat company and the land, she started to tell us about the goats, and someone made a comment about it. And she was like, oh yeah, it's contagious. Once one goat goes, all of them decide to go.
That's right. I remember that. But also so
yawning.
Yes. But for goats.
A little bit of a more messy, contagious habit.
Yeah, seriously, I'll take yawning over needing to go potty. I need it.
Yes, absolutely. But yes.
So we went on this beautiful, beautiful walk through a wooded area, and the goats were just having the time of their lives. They were moving, they were grooving, they were headbutting, they were pottying. We got to feed them. Mm-hmm. We got to feed them twice.
We did. The goats that I fed were they chose violence. One of them jumped on me, and they're big goats. They're not the little baby goats that you see on the internet all the time. These are they stood up on me, and they were as tall as I was. And I'm not a very tall person, but
she's not.
A goat being as tall as me is a lot. But I've also grown up with dogs, so I'm used to it.
Some of the goats were dwarf goats, so they didn't get very big. I'm 5'2", and they were up to my knee. So some of them are dwarf goats, but some of them were big. They were goats. And
big boys.
They were very big and very cute, and sometimes a little overwhelming when you were holding food.
Yeah, they loved carrots.
Yeah, it was so
although
cute.
I did I loved the black goat, that the little one
Yes,
we were like we were feeding them carrots and we were like taking pictures with the goats, and he was not in it at all. He just decided to go eat a stick that was like completely on the other side of the path, and we were all like, come over here, like showing him food.
He's like, no.
He
also then
the entire walk, and it was so cute.
He also then like wrapped another goat into a really important headbutting competition.
Oh yeah, they were just headbutted the entire time.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta.
He woke up, chose violence, and just needed to throw hands. At that moment.
Yeah.
At that moment.
I gotta tell you right now, Sweet Precious Ollie Bear chose violence this morning and is now cuddled up on Sham's lap, just taking the cutest little nap I ever did see. And it's really hard when he chooses violence and then pulls a stunt like this cuteness. Is he trying to make me forget about the violence?
I think so.
How dare he?
That's Shui's method.
Well, it's diabolical.
I know. They know
you have to remember
doing.
The wars, Riley.
I remember the wars every day. I wake up and the first thing I think about is the wars.
We have to add the wars to our document later when we're talking about our inside jokes as a podcast topic. The wars is maybe my favorite inside joke that we I saw a Case on New Year's Eve and he goes, "Did you see Riley?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, Did she remember? And I was like, "We always remember the wars."
We always remember the wars. It's all I think about.
Oh my god, it's all we think about. It's the wars or nothing.
I'm in constant remembrance of the wars.
You got to pay your respects,
of course, by remembering the wars.
So we have a great time with our precious goat babes. And then we have to walk back down.
I decided to walk in the snow the entire way down. Like, I got off the path. I trekked through the snow in the woods and it gave me better traction, and I made it down.
Yeah. I cannot stress enough how absolutely beautiful it was. And it was the perfect day. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. I mean, it was winter. Yeah. But it wasn't frigid. And it wasn't that weird in between temperature where wearing your coat makes you sweat. Your coat kept you exactly perfectly comfortable. It was just a great day for what we were doing.
And I mean, it was cold out, but when we were walking, that kept us warm.
Yes.
And we were with people, which usually helps. But like you said, it was a beautiful day. There was no wind.
Oh yeah.
It was overcast. So I think that was why wearing a coat didn't make you hot, because there wasn't the sun beating down on you with this non-frigid temperature. It was just the earth existed and you were comfortable and walked with goats, and it was a great time.
Oh yeah, it was totally perfect. I have to descend this hill to get back to sweet beautiful Helen, and it was a little treacherous.
Yeah, well, we had to wait because there were cars parked up on top, and the guide was like, I wouldn't walk down before the cars, just because even though they have 4-wheel drive, it doesn't guarantee that they're not gonna lose control. And we were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe we'll wait.
Hang on, we have to talk about the best interaction we had all day. I can't believe we forgot to talk about this. When we arrived at the goat trekking place, we were a little confused about what to do and where to go. And there were some signs around, and we see this very sweet man. And I rolled on my window and I'm like, can you tell me where I need to go for goat trekking? And he was like, oh, here's where you need to go. And I was like, great. So like, what do I need to do? And he goes, do you 4-wheel drive? I was like, I don't. And he goes, then you need to park down here. And I was like, okay, tell me what I need to do. And he goes, I'm going to have you back into this space. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And he's like, you look like a person who can do that. He goes, not everybody can. But you,
Right.
you look like a person who can do that.
He did. He was so funny.
He's the grandfather of my student. It was so great.
Yeah, that was a tough job having to like stand down there. I know that there was a house like right by where he was standing, but it wasn't like it was 10 feet. You still had to go up the hill a little bit to get to the house. And then it was like, I mean, the place where the goat trekking is, it's farmland. Like every house in that area is a farm. And even if doesn't function as a farm, it has the potential to be farmland. So like everyone's yard is like at least 5 acres. So everything is super spread out everywhere. So yeah, this guy's like standing in the parking lot directing people to where to go. And like it was a great day, but I imagine like a day like today where it's 10 degrees outside, that would be tough. Or in the summer when it's like 100. That's I'm sure it's not a problem like having people park down there in the summer, but even just like being out and doing stuff outside is not fun in that kind of weather. But yeah, he was a trooper and he was so funny to talk to. Oh my gosh. He was the first person we interacted in this experience. And it was like he set the tone. It was awesome.
Well, the other thing too is that like this family has an acreage, like it's just like Riley just said, it's like farmland. And they used their acreage for like a timber farm originally. Like they're growing trees to use as lumber. And I just thought that was such a cool, fun thing. Like we have a farm and we're farming wood, but like the gift of that is that you get this beautiful wooded area while you're farming. Like,
yeah.
I desire one day to grow my own food, but like if I had a farm, I'd cover it in trees and say that I am a lumber farm just so that I could be surrounded by trees constantly, you know?
Yeah, that was an awesome. I totally forgot about that. And she had said that like the family had planted those trees and they were so tall. Like these were what were they, evergreens? They were like,
so some of them were like some of them were pine and some of them, she had a couple of like spruce trees. She had a couple of fir trees. But the thing that was like super interesting to me is that like as we're entering into like what was originally the lumber farm, and like she was talking about how like her grandfather like purchased the land and planted all these trees, and now her daughter, who's my student, like this is the 4th generation of their family to walk these trails and see these trees and do all those things. And like what a cool like gift that has been to their family. It was just such a beautiful moment.
Yeah, it was just like the coolest experience. They were a great family to like take this walk with and share this experience with. And the whole operation was just very cool. The other thing I loved, this was like kind of off topic, but the other thing I loved is that like, so the family does a lot of work in a lumber farm and with the animals, and like there's a lot of land. So there's like the work that they do is pretty spread out. They just build buildings to hang out in when they're working. Like we leave the lumber farm area, like we trek through the trees, and there's like a couple of patches of land that are just
you misremember what this building is for, but yeah, keep going.
So we like leave the field or the lumber farm, the tree area. We go back into this field and there's this like little 2-story building. Like it literally looks like 2 just like square rooms stacked on top of each other, and it's like equipped with heating, a television, there's like a bed. It's a place like you could sleep in there. And you said I missed what it was for. What was it for?
So what you're misremembering is that the guide's brother and father, or brothers and father, hunt the land.
Oh, that's right. Got like
tired.
Vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so they got tired of sleeping on the ground and in tents. And so instead of sleeping on the ground and in tents while they're hunting, they built themselves a building. And the buildings got
multiple buildings scattered around their land though. We passed a few while we were walking up the hill, like in addition to the house.
Yes, yeah. So they're like hunting. Mind you, they could literally just walk to the main house.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
It's not that far away. They could just walk to the main house when they're hunting, but no, they have to build a specific building for hunting and sleeping, which I think is the most endearing thing in the world. Like, I think this is adorable and hilarious. And like, the building's got heat. The building's got a television. The building has got beds for them to sleep in, because when you are hunting, apparently roughing it is not a thing that they want to do anymore. And like, listen, as a person who enjoys sleeping outside, but only will do so if she's on a cot, I get it. Yeah. It's just so funny to me that they're like, yeah, we love to hunt the land. We just will not walk the extra 15 feet to the main house.
Instead, we're gonna build a house. We're gonna build another house in the middle of the land. And it wasn't like I said, it was a big house. It was like maybe 20 square feet.
No, not at all.
And then like if another 20 square feet on top.
Yes, like if this was The Sims, remember when The Sims came out with tiny living?
Yes.
And we were all trying to figure out like how to build a tiny house that got all the special powers, but like also looked kind of cute. And we were trying to do those like 2-story, like little 8x8 cubes. It was literally exactly that. It was two 8x8 cubes in The Sims stacked on top of each other with a roof. Like, this was a very beginning.
There wasn't siding. It was just
the siding was not in yet.
Farm. And then like a saw blade hanging hanging on the wall outside, and that was it. Like, that was the decor.
It was rusty. Like, you could not use that saw blade if you wanted to. It was just that the hunting boys thought that was a cute vibe.
Yeah. I forgot about saw blade. It was a cute vibe. I think that staircase was even outside the house. Like, it didn't even fit inside the house.
Yeah. That's why I said it was like when we all got tiny living in The Sims and you had to try to maximize those 8x8 cubes. Like, we didn't have ladders outside yet, so staircases had to be outside.
Exactly. It was awesome though.
It was so cute. I kept joking with my student that like that was going to be her home when she graduated from college, and the mom was like, don't give her any ideas. And I was like, but she's so close. She just lives in the 8x8 cube, you know?
Exactly. I was like, there's a TV, there's heat.
She's fine.
Bitch, you're all fine. You're all good. You're good. I mean,
there's no kitchen or bathroom.
You're not going to get
a little tough.
Yeah. That'd be a problem for me because of DoorDash. You're not going to get any food delivered to you out there, but
for those of you listening on Apple Podcasts, I just gave Riley the most "are you freaking kidding me" look of all time. I just want you to imagine what you think that probably looks like, because it's really important to the silent moment we just had that you know that I just glared at Riley so intently.
I'm like messing with my microphone here because it's like, ooh.
Yeah, you have our Nancy Drew mic because Sam got a new mic for Christmas, and now I get this like fancy one that tilts. Like, look at this. Look at this.
That's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I love it. It's great.
What is the brand for that one?
We currently, this is a blue, so that's what you have, but this is a blue Yeti.
Gotcha.
You have a blue Snowball.
Yeah. Blue is a great brand of microphone. Quinn saw this sitting on my desk one day and he was like, where did you get that? And I was like, Callie gave it to me. Callie and Sammy gave it to me. And he was like, yeah, nice mic. I was like, thanks. I like it. I like that it's skinny. Although it doesn't like to, it likes to go where the cord is. So like I had it positioned where I wanted it, and the cord, because it's an HDMI cord that does what it wants, it like moved automatically. And then so
it does that. Like, that was our problem in Nancy Drew streams too, is that that microphone positions itself based on like its cord flexibility. And so like you have to position yourself around that microphone. A real thing that I just learned about the microphone I'm using is that what I probably should have done is face the base the other direction so that the actual part of the microphone is like literally right where my mouth is. So I'll fix that for next time.
Yeah. Well, we live and we learn.
It's literally podcast episode 1. We've got so much growing to do. Like I need to get some kind of art for right here because this is pathetic.
Well, I have the family rules behind me.
Okay, listen. Here's my prob.
Yeah.
Is that all we see in your like area is the family rules, and the only thing I can actually make out is a rule that says hug often, and I feel like you're trying to coerce me into more hugs.
No.
Listen, I understand the long game you're playing and I don't appreciate it.
It's a decoration that has words on it, and we know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I might have to take it. I might have to take it down for the next podcast because it's like I sat down and I saw it and I was like, I can't put my own stuff up there because I don't have anything to put up there.
I think you could get like art from your room because you're clearly not sitting on your couch. You're clearly sitting on your floor.
Yeah.
And you get art from your room and like prop it up behind your couch and stuff.
Maybe I'll make something. Maybe I'll make a Nat For You painting and put it up there.
I think that'd be cute. I also think you could cast from your room if you really wanted to. Yeah, and then we like match. So cute. So it's funny because Riley lives in her parents' home, and so like none of the choices in her background are intentional to her. But her parents' home is like very warm, very yellowy, very like just you come in and you feel like you're getting a beautiful hug. Sam and I's home is very like white and gray and black, and there's a lot of like cute little accent colors. So, like in our living room, the accent colors you can't see is green because I have made a literal jungle in here. But like I'm just looking at my general podcast frame and it's just like she boring.
No, but I like that your background has like a color scheme because your background looks put together. It looks like your choices were your background looks like the color scheme was intentional with the I love it. But you got the black shelf, the gray couch, and the white wall. Those are all colors that go together, and you could put literally anything in the background with that color scheme and it would work. Like you hold up your little llama blanket and it works because like you have a very I can't like this is brown and beige and the wall is beige. Also,
yeah, I have to like actually like this black ladder. Callie has a black ladder to her left, right, or her left, right, her back her right, her left, right, of course. And it's a blanket ladder. So like normally there are blankets on this. It's just that it's blankie washing day. We own an animal now, and that animal is a smelly bean. And that smelly bean likes to lay on me when I has some blankies. And the smelly bean makes my blankies smelly. So my like the blankets that usually populate this ladder are currently in the wash. So it just looks like I have like a little black and white shelf.
Yeah. But it looks very intentional. It looks very clean.
Yes. Girl, we gotta finish this story.
I know. We keep getting off track, but hey, it's a podcast, and that's what podcasts are all about.
I just want to say that like future Callie and Riley and Sam are going to. Sam is our producer / editor / my roommate who coerced us into this podcast. It's like her creative baby. It's just that Riley and I are ridiculous beyond all reason, and she likes to hear us talk for some unknown reason.
I've been told that I'd never stop talking, so
it's a true statement. I can't like sometimes I'm falling asleep and she's still talking to me, and I just fall asleep while Riley's talking to me, and I assume that she keeps talking for hours before she realizes that I've been asleep. I
have a lot of things in my brain that need to go out into the world, and then I say them out loud and then I forget them.
That is the problem. Is that like keep them in that big brain of yours so that you remember them.
When I was watching the videos, I'm like,
they're gone.
When I was rewatching, I know we have to finish our story, but when I was rewatching the videos today, there were so many times where I was like, I said that out loud. And it wasn't anything bad, but I would say something in the video and I'd be like
sign, seal, delivered. I'm in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't remember saying that at all. I was
I remember that moment. That moment is like one of my favorite things to ever happen.
I remember saying it after I watched our first video that I said it in, and I was like, that's so funny. And I started saying it throughout other streams. And then I don't know, I stopped, I guess, after a while, but I remember saying it again. I don't remember the first time watching it. There are other things that I've said in the Nancy Drew streams that I don't remember saying. There was one that was in one of the videos, you breathed in my ear and I said, my eardrums are melting. I don't remember saying that at all. At all.
I remember that moment. I do.
I remember once you breathing in my ear and me telling you that I was turning inside out, but I don't remember.
That's also one of my all-time favorites.
I don't remember saying that my eardrums are melting.
Okay, so we
get down to the bottom of the hill.
I get back in my car and we drive 2.5 hours back to Riley's home. I need to take a pause here to tell you that we smiled so much that now my cheeks hurt. And I'm gonna need you to bring me less joy, please, because my face is aching.
Never. Joy is my middle name.
In a very literal sense.
Literally and metaphorically.
So we drive 2 hours back, and our 2 hours back, I convinced Riley to listen to a Dungeons and Dragons real play podcast because we were entering into our Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I wanted her to have kind of the experience of learning how to play, but also just an example of what it means to play in character. We're a really, really new D&D troop, and so I have been listening to Dungeons and Dragons podcasts for probably 5 or 6 years now. I got a concussion a while back. And somebody recommended to me while I couldn't have screens that this would be really good for me. I'm a big reader. I enjoy television, and I couldn't do either of those things anymore. I couldn't even go outside. I was so light sensitive, and all I could do was lay on the couch in our college apartment and listen to podcasts. And so they recommended this to me as collaborative storytelling kind of a thing, and I was all about that. And I just totally fell in love with D&D play podcasts. And so the Adventure Zone, and particularly their balance campaign, was my entry into podcasting. But then I started listening to D&D and NADPod. I've tried Critical Role before. I just really fell in love with the way that other people tell stories. And I joked with my friends, my best friend in the whole world recommended that I listen to this, and Case was I think you're really gonna like it. It's a D&D podcast, but it's collaborative storytelling, and I think you'd really laugh. And I was like, great. Is this part of your 5-year plan to get me to play D&D with you? And he goes, no. I'm not trying to get you to play D&D with me. I know you said no, it's fine. 5 years later, I was like, yeah, we can play D&D, right? So I wanted Riley to listen to the Adventure Zone and just kind of remember and get some ideas about what it means to play in character, and what those roles mean, and when you would use them, and proficiency bonuses and all those kinds of things. So we kind of listened to that most of the way home. We had some little conversations in between. Do you really remember what those are?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember a lot of those because they were so short. We wanted to be presently listening to the podcast, so we didn't want to have to stop and keep stopping and then starting again and stopping and starting again. So we just decided like we'd make a comment here and there, but nothing like no in-depth kinds of conversations.
I think for a little bit we talked about like what characters we would roll if we could re-roll.
Yeah.
Like I currently play an elven wizard who's a spy, and like if I could re-roll, I would play like a straight up feral Circle of Spores druid. Like
I think that
would
would
love
be
that.
perfect for you. I think that would
Like what do
such
you
a good
do?
job
I
with
lick
that.
the door. Like you are presented with the high court. What do? I sniff their hand.
Yeah.
Like just totally feral. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But yeah, so we were talking about, like Callie said, we were talking about like what we would do if we started our campaign differently. And I think I would stick with my same character. But the way that I play games is like when like a lot of the video games I play are role-playing games. Like I play Skyrim and I play Breath of the Wild. And those are a lot of choice making games where you have to like make the choices that you need to make in order to be successful in the game. And D&D is a lot of improvisation and choice making, and like when I play video games it's a lot of trial and error. I don't research before, I just kind of play and figure it out as I go, and I feel like that's how I approach D&D. So I think if we were going to start a new game, I would stick with the same character with the knowledge that I have now so that I can play the game better with the character that I had. That's typically what I do when I start games like that again, is I stick with the same kind of character because I'm familiar with it and I know what to do. And I can like be a better player than I was the first time.
Would love to get to the point where you feel ready to like branch out into something new. I'm a big NAD pod fan right now. I love Not Another D&D podcast. We should make a whole episode about D&D.
We really should.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll finish the story and we'll add that to the list. So I'm a big NAD pod fan, and there's this person who like Jake didn't play D&D before the podcast. Like his friends convinced him into doing it, and he did it, and he chose like the easiest race to play, and he said like, I want this one because it's the easiest. And then the next character he chose was kind of the same character, but it was a different class. And so he was like adding a little bit, and then again, it like kind of the same vibe, and then adding a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they're getting ready to do season 3. And he said, like, I'm kind of ready to do some magic things. Like, I just don't want to have to worry about like spell cards and like having all those things around me all the time. Like, I just want like an intro into magic. And like, that's what I hope for you as we continue to play, that like, yeah, you love your little rogue and your little rogue feels familiar, but when we start a new campaign or we get a new DM, you'll be like, okay, like I'm really familiar with like the sneak mentality, but like I'm ready to do something new, and you choose like a monk or something, you know what I mean? That like like you're confident and you're ready and you're excited to try like something creative or different,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be opposed to that. I think if I were to pick another character, it would be someone magical.
I love dem magic babies. This is the thing. I'm not a particularly like violent person. It's very easy to like irritate me. It's very easy to upset me. But like never are my impulses like particularly violent. I might like yell at you for 5 minutes and move on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like that's why I like the magic babies. It's like it's a little bit fantastical. It's a little bit like otherworldly, but also like as I'm playing me, like a very sensitive little baby, I don't feel like I'm actually inflicting harm on anything because I'm playing with things that don't exist. You know what I mean? Whereas like if I were to be like a barbarian, I would be worried about like, I slash this person, like that hurts the inside of my heart. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't. I gotta be a magic baby. I can't be anything else, or my little soul is sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have this beautiful conversation about D&D on the way.
Exactly.
And when we get home, and what do we do, Riley Tita? How do we spend our luxurious day?
Well, speaking of D&D, well, first we started off by watching Encanto,
and I'm miming to Riley the action of what we did while we watched Encanto?
Oh yeah, we painted our nails. And we could have a whole podcast about this kind of nail polish anyway, but
oh my gosh, I think I could talk for 2 hours about Holo Taco. This is not a joke.
Yeah. So we're gonna not we're not gonna talk about it today because we'll go off on another tangent and we'll be here for 4 more hours.
No, we're not gonna go off on a tangent. We're just gonna go off about.
We're just gonna go off. We painted our nails while we watched Encanto with Holo Taco nail polish. If you've never tried it, go to Simply Nailogical's YouTube page. It's fantastic. I still have the colors on my toes.
Nail polish of Holo Taco. They're all incredible.
By all colors. So I have a few solid colors. We have a lot of the glitter and color changing.
Oh my gosh,
colors as well.
That's not monochrome, it's multi-chrome. That multi-chrome, baby.
Multi-chrome. So we did that. We cried a little bit.
We're not gonna go off, but we're gonna go off.
We're gonna go off. Cried a little bit while watching Encanto post nail doing. I still have the colors on my toes, by the way. I painted 1 foot like solid green and then 1 foot glitter green. And Callie used my like color changing one.
It's called Mist Shift. It's a bomb.com. We painted our nails on Thursday, and then I took my nail polish off on Thursday because that was the first day that it chipped.
No.
But that's a week, BB. That's pretty good for nail polish. Anyway.
Oh, I thought you meant like it chipped the same day, and I was like, no. That's not normal for taco. It doesn't chip.
No. I went on 2 dates with these nails. Ooh. Well, this is a not on microphone conversation.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna talk about that later. So anyway, we watch Encanto. We do our nails. We go to Barnes and Noble.
Why?
Because our D&D dice are cursed, and we need to get new ones. It's not a joke. I love my D&D dice, like my original set. I love the color. They're so fun, and it's like a perfect color. But
tell me about the color of your D&D OG dice.
They're like this. It's hard to describe. It's like a pinkish red color. Yeah. And like it's like monochrome or multi-chrome. It's like, you move the dice around and it like you can see different colors like flowing in it.
I bought them for her.
You did. And I love them, but I roll like no more than 5.
Seriously, like
every time I roll, it's terrible.
Like they're purple and you can like see through them, and there's a little bit of like glitter in there, and they're beautiful and I love them, and they're from the same company, and like I roll like trash garbage every time. And we were talking about how our OG dice are cursed, and so we had to go to Barnes and Noble to buy cute ones. Cute uncursed ones.
Yeah.
Tell me about your new dice, BB. What do they look like? What's the vibe?
So they're called like Scarab Green or something like that. Like based on the little Egyptian beetle. And they're like this green. It's like my multi-chrome nail polish. It's literally the dice version of that. They're like a green with like purples and blues filtered into them, but you have to rotate the dice around and like hold it up to the light in order to see those colors. And then the numbers on them are gold, and I love them so much.
So so mine are like, if you were to look at them head on, they'd be kind of like, you think they were black, but when you look them up, they're like black and gold and green and blue and purple, and I forget what color the numbers are off the top of my head. I gotta be honest, because I'm usually too mesmerized by the beautiful like swirling colors present in my new D&D dice. And here's the thing that I want to say about buying new dice at Barnes and Noble. First of all, there was a Winnie the Pooh stage at Barnes and Noble, and that's the most important thing in the whole world to me. Yeah. Second of all,
yeah,
is that our dungeon master did not remember his dice this time we played. So he played with my purple glitter dice. And and he literally said to me afterwards, he's like, Cal, these dice are cursed. And I was like, I know, because prior to this like session, I literally only hit one time in an encounter out of the maybe like 8 encounters that we had played, which is like, and our encounter, we're very low level, like we're level 5. So our encounters, they aren't super fast. Like they're long encounters. We're playing like 6 to 10 rounds every time. So like 8 times 10 is 80 rolls. And I hit maybe one time in 80 rolls. So like those purple glitter dice are straight up and down living cursed. But my new dice, I hit literally every round.
I hit the first couple, and then my new dice were like, we're signing off. We're signing off. Good luck.
Riley, I think this means you need to go buy another set of dice. There's actually
don't tempt me to go back to Barnes and Noble. I almost went today.
You know that there was another set of dice that really spoke to my soul. And like, okay, so this is actually part of the story. So we got home, we watched Encanto, and then we went out to go buy more dice. After our nails were appropriately dry, because you know we be valuing those nails. So we went to Barnes and Noble, and I notoriously am tough at making decisions. Poor Samantha is sitting in this room thinking like, oh my gosh, I hate shopping with Callie, because not only do I have a hard time finding clothes that fit my body in a way that is cute, but like anytime I need to choose an item, I need to agonize over it first. And so like Riley really got a experience of me agonizing over items, because there was like a purple and gold and black set of dice that I really loved, because I love purple. And it's my favorite color in the whole world. And my room is literally purple, gold, black, and white. You've all been in it when we Swiss Squad. But those just like didn't feel right to me. And then I encountered the dice I ended up buying, and I loved how they were like very different than a vibe I would otherwise choose. And so I was like so excited about them. But then I was like, but my whole thing is purple. And like my whole thing is purple and gold. Like the colors of our college were purple and gold. My favorite colors my whole life have been purple and gold. Like, how can I choose anything other than these dice? And I like would put them down and walk around the store, and then pick them up and then walk around the store, and then put them down and then walk around the store. And like I was going by the gut feeling, like, do I feel sad when I hold any of these dice? And I kept saying to Riley, like, after I hold these for a while, I feel kind of sad. And then I'd put them down and I'd pick up the new ones, and I'd be like, these make me feel sad too. And then I put them down and pick up the other ones, and I'd be like, I don't know, I just feel sad. Like,
I'm like, just buy both. That's what I do.
He's like, just buy both. And I'm like,
not in like a oh my gosh, just buy both. I was like, just buy both. Like,
yeah, but she was like,
both make you happy. That's what I would do.
Buy both, BB.
Gas you up about it. Like, get both. Switch off.
But so then I was like, I just can't spend $20 on dice today. Like I can't do that. It seems absurd to me. And I bought these dice. I love these dice. They're not cursed. Thank God. I still am thinking about those purple and gold dice. I might go buy them anyway. So anyways, we go to Barnes and Noble. Riley, I think you need to buy another set of dice, because clearly these new dice are half cursed, and that means that you should get to own beautiful things, babe.
I twist my arm and send me to Barnes and Noble. Like,
please.
I haven't gone to Barnes and Noble in like 2 weeks, and that's a record. I go to Barnes and Noble like twice a week. We've been quarantined. By choice.
Listen, I think it's for the benefit of our party that you go to Barnes and Noble.
Oh, I think so.
And I think that it's like a service to your best friends that you go to Barnes and Noble.
I might have to go tomorrow.
Listen, I would like Snapchat options of your potential dice, please. Thank you.
There was one that I was between with the green ones. It was like one that I picked up before I picked up the green ones that I really liked. I can't remember what color they were though. I'll know when I
remember those dice.
I see that they're not in front of me, so I can't remember them.
But
that was something that we talked about. So if I can't see it,
I think we need to go on a dice tour in a YouTube video. Like here's our dice tour. We can get Sam's dice. We can tour Sam's dice too. I'm pretty sure they're green and they're beautiful.
We'll do it like a makeup palette, like hold up.
Yes, this is our D20. Hello. This is our D100. She cute. Okay, so we go to Barnes and Noble. We go to Noodles and Company. Okay, actually, hang on. We need to back up a little bit. Our biggest concern on our drive home was like, what's the lunch situation? Because we finished goat trekking at like 11.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what are we going to do about lunch? Because it's 2.5 hours home. So like if we wait to go home till like 1:30 and then we get lunch, like that's kind of a late lunch. Like, what are we going to do about dinner? Like, when's the optimal time? And like, I was really craving some Chick-fil-A sauce.
Good thing I had some at my house.
Retweet. So we end up stopping at Culver's. Because we're big Culver's people over here. We eat some delicious Culver's food. We save a little bit of French fries until we get to Riley's house, and then we have some Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
God
watching content, paint our nails.
How many red lights did we hit on the way home?
Dude, literally. So I'm cursed. We hit literally every red light possible to hit on the way home. We actually didn't get home till like 1:45, 2 o'clock. It was really tough. Yeah. So we stopped for Culver's about like an hour and a half into our drive. And then we made it to Riley's house. We ate some Chick-fil-A sauce with our leftover cold French fries, painted our nails, watched Encanto. We go to Barnes & Noble. We go to Noodles & Company. Riley, tell us about our Noodles & Company experience.
We each got noodles. I can't remember the name of the thing that I got, but
I orange had chicken noodles.
I did?
You did.
I don't remember getting orange chicken.
You did.
Did you get pad thai?
I got pad thai, baby.
Yeah, you got pad thai. Yeah, I wanted to try some. Usually I get the mac and cheese. I wanted to try something different there. So I got
you loved my pad thai, if I remember correctly.
I did. I like pad thai a lot, but I wanted to try something
new.
So I
also got chicken pot stickers, which were chef's kiss.
So good. So good.
So good. The soy sauce had little red pepper flakes in it, and I am a spicy BB. Love that spice.
Love that spice. We got also, do we get pot stickers too?
I said that. We got chicken pot stickers.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Why don't you listen to me?
I thought you said chicken pasta, and I was like, yeah, that's what we got.
No, I had tofu.
That's what I had. I had chicken pasta.
Chicken.
I had chicken in my pasta.
Anyway.
So we got back, and then what do we do when we get back, Callie?
We played Silent Spy. My straight up all-time favorite Nancy Drew game is Silent Spy. And girl, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, also, we'll talk about that on the Nancy Drew podcast because we'll have plenty of those, I think.
Listen. I'm listening. I played Silent Spy literally the next day when I got home. And I didn't finish it. I'm still in the middle of it. But Bridget is now Zoe and has already broken in to Cathedral. And I want to play it some more, except my week has been cray-cray. And also, like, I want Sam to play it because it's my all-time favorite game in the whole world, and I want to share it with her, except for that my week's been cray-cray, and I'm going to try to bully her into playing it tonight, so I'm going to have to start all the way over, and that's going to be real tough, girl.
Girl, it's okay, though, because it's your favorite game.
Hi,
Sweet.
Sweet. Can you mask, please? Can I listen? Riley is about to pick up the very cutest little white poodle dog mix of all time. Shui is the cutest, tiniest little bean in the whole world.
She's very violent. Hey, come here.
I'm sorry, she's choosing violence at the moment. So just imagine the cutest, smallest little teddy bear that's choosing violence in an adorable dog way. Don't picture violence in your brain. Oh, Riley is now flailing her arms about, trying to get Shui's attention. Shui's name is actually Shiloh. We just only refer to her as Shui.
She's gone. She left.
She's left us. Why doesn't Shui want to see her Auntie Callie? How dare she?
If I pick her up and try to get her over here, she's gonna run away. But someone else is coming to say hi. Come here.
Dewey! Hi, Dewey. Riley's older dog is named Lucky. We call him Dewey. He's also a Poodle Bajan mix. He's white. He's fluffy. He's so cute. And we love him very much. He's currently not on camera right now because Riley is trying to capture him. Oh, Dewey. Hi, sweet. Oh, we're getting both white dogs in between Riley's beautiful face. Wow, look at these beautiful babies.
Oh my God. They're gonna go headbutt each other like the goats did over on the other side of the room. No joke. That's all they do is like fight each other, but not in like a mean way. They're not like how dogs will fight each other. That's not. No. They just like wrestle.
Yeah, this guy gets some wrestling in.
They wrestle.
Okay, so we play Silent Spy through to the end, and then we take a nice little sleepy.
Peace.
That's the end of our goat trek adventure.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was very fun.
It's so good.
We did so many things.
Callie Riley day.
It was a very good day. Hi, Shui. Welcome back.
All right, you want to take us out of this podcast, BB?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Riley's not prepared.
I am prepared. Just we had a lot. We talked about it. Hold on a second.
Listen, first of all, I haven't chatted with you all week. Second of all, there's a demon Shui in the background.
She's eating the candle. Stop.
Riley, Shui is eating the candles, and Riley is trying to stop that from happening.
She's done. She's stopped.
Beautiful.
Hi. Okay, bye, Shui.
Bye, Shui.
Right. That's all we got for today. Thank you for joining. If for some reason you're still here, we hope you had a good time. If you didn't, that's okay, because this podcast is not for you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. I can't find the bye button. Help. Girl, okay, wait.